As a heart surgeon, I have to be honest, very little surprises me anymore. But there's one thing I see almost every day that still shocks me. So many people over 60 wake up, follow the same simple morning routine they've had for years, thinking it's harmless, when in reality, this one habit can quietly double their risk of a heart attack or stroke, often within just the first few hours of the day. And here's the truly terrifying part. Most of them never see it coming. They don't feel chest pain, they don't notice shortness of breath, they don't get any obvious signs their heart is in danger. They go about their morning as usual, unaware that their blood is thicker, their arteries are under more stress, and their heart is about to hit its breaking point. You might be wondering, what is the reason of heart attack for so many older adults who seem otherwise healthy? Are there silent triggers beyond diet and genetics that put you at risk without a single warning sign? Today, I'll answer those questions and uncover the subtle signs of heart attack or stroke most people overlook, because they're happening at the exact time of day your heart is most vulnerable. And stay with me, because by the end of this video, I'm going to share the simplest, most effective change you can make each morning, something I personally recommend to nearly every one of my patients, to help thin your blood naturally, reduce morning blood pressure spikes, and protect your heart before the day even begins. Let me tell you about Walter. He's 72 years old, the kind of man everyone calls healthy for his age. He doesn't smoke. He takes a walk every afternoon. His cholesterol, his doctor says it's fine. To his neighbors, Walter is the last person you'd imagine lying in a hospital bed. But every morning, Walter follows the same routine he's had for decades. He wakes up and skips water, heading straight for a classic American breakfast: bacon, buttered toast, and a mug of strong black coffee. Right after eating, he takes his calcium and vitamin D, because years ago, his pharmacist told him it was good for his bones and heart. It all feels so normal, until one quiet morning, as he rinses his coffee cup, a crushing pain seizes his chest. His shirt clings with sweat. His breath turns shallow. Within minutes, Walter is on the floor, gasping, while his wife frantically dials 911. At the hospital, the diagnosis is clear: heart attack. But when I sat with Walter to review what happened, it wasn't bad luck or just old age. It was a perfect storm, one that had been building silently every single morning. Here's what few people realize. In the early hours, your blood is naturally thicker, like syrup, from dehydration during sleep. Cortisol, your stress hormone, peaks, tightening your blood vessels and raising your pressure. Add a heavy, greasy breakfast and supplements taken at the wrong time, and your blood becomes even stickier. Your arteries narrow, your heart strains. All it takes is one tiny clot to turn an ordinary morning into a life-or-death emergency. Now let me ask you this. Are you unknowingly repeating the same habit Walter did, without even realizing the danger? So what's really happening inside Walter's body, and possibly yours, each morning? Let's break it down in simple terms. When you wake up, your body isn't as calm as you think. Levels of cortisol and adrenaline, the stress hormones, surge to help you start the day. At the same time, after 7 or 8 hours without water, your body is mildly dehydrated. The result? Your blood becomes thicker, almost like syrup. Now imagine pouring that syrup through narrow, aging pipes, your arteries. If on top of that you eat a heavy breakfast loaded with animal fats, refined sugars, or worse, you skip food entirely and just drink strong coffee, things get worse. Your blood thickens even more, your blood vessels tighten, and your heart, already working against morning stress hormones, has to pump harder than ever just to keep up. This combination is exactly what can cause a heart attack in older adults, even those who think they're healthy. Each surge in pressure, each spike in viscosity, pushes you closer to a clot. And if you already live with high blood pressure or stiff, plaque-filled arteries, that risk multiplies. Here's the dangerous truth. Most heart attacks don't start with chest pain or clear warning signs. The first symptom can be the attack itself. That's why understanding these triggers and knowing how to prevent heart attack is so critical, especially if you're over 60. And here's the good news. There's one simple habit, something that takes just 30 seconds each morning, that can thin your blood, ease pressure on your heart, and dramatically lower your risk. I'll share exactly what it is, right after we cover the 3 key habits that every senior needs to protect their heart each morning. Let's get practical. You now know why mornings can be a dangerous window for your heart. But here's the good news. Just a few small adjustments to your routine can dramatically reduce your risk without relying on new medications or extreme diets. These are the 3 simple habits I recommend to nearly all my patients over 60, and they've been life-changing. Number 1. Start your day by drinking warm water and taking a 15-minute light walk before breakfast. The first hour after you wake up is the most dangerous window for your heart. Your body has gone 7 to 8 hours without water, so your blood is thicker, like syrup. Cortisol, the stress hormone, peaks to jumpstart your day, tightening your vessels and raising blood pressure. That's why heart attacks are most common in the early morning, often striking people who felt perfectly fine the night before. Most people think their morning pill will keep everything in check. But medication can't thin your blood naturally or help your arteries relax. Pills only control the numbers, not the real stress your heart faces when you first open your eyes. That's why what you do in those first 15 minutes matters more than most people realize. Here's what I tell nearly all my patients over 60. Drink a full glass of warm water the moment you wake up, then take a slow 10 to 15-minute walk before breakfast. The warm water hydrates your blood, making it less viscous so it flows smoothly. The gentle walk signals your arteries to open up and your blood vessels to relax, easing that morning surge of pressure and helping your heart find its rhythm before the day ramps up. Think of your blood like syrup moving through narrow pipes. That simple duo, hydration and gentle movement, turns it into a steady, flowing stream, relieving the strain that can lead to clots or cardiac events. It's simple. It costs nothing. And for many of my patients, it's the one change that finally stopped those scary morning pressure spikes and gave them lighter, steadier energy all day. Have you ever tried walking 10 to 15 minutes before breakfast? Try it tomorrow and notice how your heart and your whole body feels different. 2. Eat a smart breakfast. Avoid the killer breakfast. What you eat in your first hour awake can either protect your heart or quietly put you at risk. For many people, the so-called hearty breakfast, bacon, sausage, buttered toast, sugary cereals, and a strong cup of black coffee on an empty stomach, does more damage than they realize. Why? Because in the early morning, your blood is already thicker, and your arteries are tighter thanks to natural hormone spikes. A heavy, greasy meal loaded with processed fats and sugars spikes your cholesterol and inflammation, slowing your blood even more. Add coffee on an empty stomach, and you've created a perfect storm. Blood pressure surges, vessels constrict, and your clot risk shoots up. Now here's where I'll challenge what you might have heard. Some diet trends, and even some doctors, say skip breakfast to give your heart a rest or to lose weight. But for people over 60, this can backfire badly. Skipping food keeps cortisol high, leaves your blood thick longer, and can trigger sudden blood sugar crashes. That roller coaster doesn't rest your heart, it shocks it. Instead, build your breakfast to heal, not harm, your heart. Start with oatmeal for soluble fiber to lower cholesterol. Add fresh berries for antioxidants and a handful of nuts for healthy fats. Include a boiled egg or fatty fish like salmon or sardines for omega-3s, which calm inflammation and keep arteries flexible. Love coffee? Enjoy it after eating, not before, so it fuels you without spiking cortisol or tightening your vessels. This isn't about starving yourself or following a fad diet. It's about feeding your heart the right fuel when it's most vulnerable. This style of breakfast is part of the best diet for heart disease prevention, a staple in diets for heart health, and even supports those following a diet for congestive heart failure. For seniors, the key isn't skipping food. It's choosing fuel that keeps your blood flowing smoothly, your arteries relaxed, and your energy steady. Which breakfast food do you think is truly the healthiest for your heart? Drop your guess below, and I'll break down the best and worst choices in the next video. 3. Be cautious with vitamins and supplements. Most people assume that vitamins can only help. We're told, the more you take, the healthier your heart and bones will be. But for many people over 60, the way you take supplements could be quietly harming your heart. The biggest culprits? Vitamin D, calcium, and even some natural herbal blends. Taken in high doses, on an empty stomach, or alongside certain heart medications, these nutrients can spike calcium levels in your blood too quickly. That excess calcium can make your arteries stiffer and narrower, and in some cases, set the stage for clot formation, exactly what we're trying to avoid. Yet, most advertisements, and even many doctors, still say, take your calcium every morning for strong bones and a healthy heart. Here's what they don't mention. If calcium isn't balanced with other nutrients like vitamin K2 and magnesium, or if your levels aren't tested regularly, it can build up in your arteries instead of your bones. That doesn't make your heart stronger. It makes your blood vessels harder, raising your risk of high blood pressure, heart attack, and stroke. So, what's the right approach? Check your dosage with a doctor who understands both nutrition and heart health, not just prescriptions. Take your supplements after breakfast, not on an empty stomach, when your blood is already thick and pressure-prone. And if you're over 60, get routine blood tests at least once or twice a year. This ensures your vitamin D, calcium, and other mineral levels are balanced, not silently building up in ways that could harm your arteries. Handled wisely, supplements can still support your heart. They can help you get the benefits of vitamins for heart health, find the best supplements for heart health, and use vitamin D and calcium safely without accidentally adding to your risk. Have you been taking your vitamins before breakfast for years? You might be shocked at how much safer and more effective they are when taken later in the day. Before we finish, there's one morning habit almost everyone over 60 has that could quietly be stressing your heart every single day. Yes, I'm talking about coffee, but not just coffee. Bottled health juices, store-bought orange juice, energy drinks, and even diet sodas can be just as harmful if you drink them at the wrong time. Here's why. When you wake up, your body is already under stress. Cortisol is high, your blood is thicker from dehydration, and your arteries are naturally tighter. If you pour strong coffee or a sugary drink into that state, you trigger a chain reaction. Adrenaline spikes, your blood pressure jumps, your vessels constrict, and your heart works overtime. Many of my older patients believed a glass of orange juice or an energy drink was healthy fuel to start the day. But in reality, the sugar rush combined with the morning cortisol surge can spike insulin, inflame your vessels, and push your heart closer to crisis. For a few of them, this combination was the last straw before a sudden episode of chest pain, or worse, a heart attack. The solution isn't to quit these drinks forever. It's to change when and how you enjoy them. If you drink coffee, have it after breakfast, not before. Pairing it with food prevents sudden pressure spikes and protects your vessels. Skip bottled juices and energy drinks. They're often loaded with sugars and additives your heart doesn't need. Fresh, whole fruit is a safer way to get natural sweetness. Need something warm and comforting first thing? Try herbal teas, warm water with lemon, or a light homemade broth. These hydrate your blood, soothe your system, and help your heart transition safely into the day. In my next video, I'll share 2 simple morning drink recipes that naturally thin your blood, calm inflammation, and boost circulation without caffeine or sugar. These are favorites among my patients because they actually help lower morning heart risk instead of raising it. For now, remember this. Those 3 habits we covered today, hydrating and walking before breakfast, eating a heart-healing meal, and using supplements wisely, are natural, powerful tools to protect your heart. Small, consistent changes can do what no pill can. Help your heart work with your body, not against it. And that's the kind of long-term protection every senior deserves. Before you click away, I want to hear from you. How do you usually start your mornings? Do you go straight for coffee? Skip breakfast? Or maybe you already have a healthy routine? Share your morning habits in the comments, and I'll personally help guide you toward a heart-friendly routine tailored to your age, your health, and your lifestyle. Remember this, it doesn't take huge, complicated changes to protect your heart. Just 10 minutes each morning, hydrating, moving gently, eating the right foods, and taking your supplements wisely can literally cut your risk of stroke and heart attack in half. I've seen these small shifts transform the lives of my patients. They feel more energized, more confident, and most importantly, safer, knowing they're in control of their heart health. And I want the same for you. So start tomorrow. Make those 10 minutes count. Your heart and your future are worth it.